He did not win, but it was all the way back in 2021, back in Split 2 then, so a good few years ago now, and he'll be hoping for a different result this time. Back then also, it was the Ziggs Nautilus as a matchup, but he did lane against an Ezreal and a Bard, so we've certainly changed a few things since then.
Was I in that game, Skibby?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. I'm checking now. No, actually, yes, I tell a lie. You were playing top lane Viego.
Okay, so that is definitely a big throwback. Sweeper started out for Kurak. You know, the experience going over to 3 people is going to allow these small lanes to get level 2 on the first wave, which is, you know, a big deal for, you know, a matchup like Renekton Jax, because as those minions do die, Tian's always going to trade with that Calder Meek, doing AoE. We'll find that level 2 on the first wave, which could swing that, you know, early game trading, and that's really nice, especially for another matchup like Tristana. Having that jump on the first wave swings that matchup completely, so just a good scout, and the fact that that ward did get dropped in front of the members of Ground Zero, you know, might just swing the early game, and that's how these top teams punish tiny mistakes, Skimmy. You find these little windows to create an advantage for your team.
Yeah, you can see you know, insignificant to the average player, but certainly at that level, you'd have experienced it yourself as a mid laner. That little bit of extra XP, hit that item advantage, or hit that XP advantage, I should say, first. And the swing state certainly makes it just that much more better for you to fight from a winning position. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of eyes, though, in particular towards this bot lane. We're a little bit divided as to who we thought would fare ahead. But so far, definitely Lemus and Kurak have had the better half of that trade.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is the problem with Ziggs, Skinny, right? His main weakness is his level 1, and Ashe Braum is so strong at level 1. Ziggs really needs 3 spells to be able to deny these champions who walk up to him, but, you know, thankfully can farm this wave, and the fact that Tian does find level 2 on the first wave is able to chunk out Bio, and you know, with the potential pathing happening topside, if he is going to be low enough, Bio might be a dive target for the side of Ground Zero.
It is a definite potential, but it's not going to be anywhere top say, because it's all about bot lane. And we're looking at Violet and saying, yeah, nice job, you're not level 2. We don't even care about getting level 2. We just simply right-click you and find first blood.
Kurak is just a machine, Skimmy. What can't this player do? You can't kill him. He'll kill you. He doesn't miss his Qs in lane. He's landed 3 in a row onto the correct member as well in Violet. And he's just done such a good job to, you know, create his advantage on the bot side.
And we've still been brainstorming ideas of what his new nickname could be, right? Whilst we've given some crude ones throughout this series. You just want something that he's known for, right? As the years go on, something to, you know, stand a reputation on, really, is the get-go from that point. But, yeah, a phenomenal start once again. Kevy under threat from Schönfire, keen to invade yet again as well. And I'm also curious in that same conversation if Kevy will go for Leandries again, or if this is going to be a straight tank Maokai.
I expect to see the straight tank Maokai coming out. We do see Biopanther rotating here, but Kevy walking into his jungle. This is a Renekton.
Jumps in, Twisted Advance. There is that Calder Meek, but then comes Biopanther waiting to try and hit that counter strike, hoping that he can take Tien down in the process. You can take the red buff, Schönfire. You can flash away to safety and leave Tien alone.
Flash root.
He dies. That is the sacrificial lamb. There is that flash reset on the cooldown. Schönfire, give us back that red buff. And that's what Kevy claims for the double.
Double kill going on to Kevy. You know, not the person you really want to get the kills, but that tank getting strong in the early game is still very nice to see. I was going to touch on the fact that, you know, Kevy smited his chicken, so all of a sudden he does not have that contest potential onto Schönfire. Schönfire recognizes that, goes for the red. Tian has that priority on the top side, does have the flash here, but it is going to be a potential gank that chunks out the crocodile here, Skimmy. But
that's
no
so
stun.
close. So close. It would have been primed and ready to go, but just a fraction too late there with the flash counter strike expiring. And could have been a dream set up for Kevy to go, yep, I get the counter jungle, and we're back in.
Still a lot of trading happening on the top side. You know, if this Calder Meek does come out, ooh, very close. Skimmy, look at the cooldowns on the Renekton, and the Fury does have the potential to one-shot this Jax without that E being there, but Lemus going low this time.
And he certainly is. Kurak under a little bit of threat himself, so he's coming. Try and run away. Oh, there's the hook. Fido is coming. Can they get the kill? Kurak's died, ladies and gentlemen. He's no longer the unkillable demon. He has finally fallen on down, not without Fido saying, how dare you ruin this narrative we spent the entire split creating.
But he has once again baited the side of Bliss at a master level, Skimmy, so good job by him. There could be a kill going to Fido, and that could swing the matchup again in the mid side of the map. You know, we see that Fido just once again being active on the map, but I was curious to how Lemus was found out here. Just a hook landing onto him, and they wait out that shield. They wait for all that to happen, and all of a sudden Ziggs can start landing all the damage he does. And Ziggs is as a champion, it's hard to let his spells right, but when he does a lot of damage.
Yeah, really hurts if it connects, that is for sure. So you can hit us in the early game, but give me a chance to answer back. And my only enemy really is then my mana pool, right? As he's completely at this point now. But Aladoric, feeling inspired, knowing that, Ziggs, much like an Ezreal, can certainly be left to their own devices to farm, gets Unleashed, gets to roam, and gets to try and now link up with Kevy, who together are pretty formidable.
Yeah, next point of attack for both sides is going to be the grubs. I'm curious, I know Ground Zero for sure will want to go for these grubs, but I want to know if Bliss feels strong enough to be able to contest these ones, because you look at what is happening on the top side of the map right now. Tien's already gone for that base, walking back to lane. The level 6s will be coming out soon for these solo laners when that cannon wave does walk in, and that is going to swing what this matchup looks like, because everyone knows how strong Renekton is with that Dominus walking into the river against stuff like a level 3, level 4, jungle support duo of Bliss.
Well, Tien has no protection here with the wards. He has no idea that Aladoric is up in the area. Bio's going to try and get this one excited to start off with, try and bait out some crucial cooldowns and make things attractive. So he's going to hover on the side. You can already see that Kevy's working towards those initial grubs. Kurek on that great trek again. Just trying to give us some vision, give some insight to Schoenfire as to what is our next best play. But are they going to mount an assault on this one? Tien still locked underneath that tower. Biopanther peeling away. Level 6 now found by the Renekton. Out goes the hook. There's 2 grubs claimed. Not to be free just yet. Harry has the Valkyrie and aggressively looking to try and get a kill. At least something. As Bio's stuck, he's stunned. And it is certainly coming. The Dominus is active. The Rage is brewing. The hooks are being found. But there's no damage to take down Fido. Aladoric, he's screaming, somebody get the Tristana. But nobody's there. And the Rocket, it's not AP Corky. It can't snipe it from afar. They'll get only 2 grubs. And they'll be unable to find a kill.
Yeah, the hook does land onto Schoenfire there, but we get to see Kurak once again lands the concussive blows onto Kevy in the the grub pit, and Fido stacks that one up with the explosive shot, and just means so much damage is front-loaded onto that Malcolm, and he cannot follow up the engage onto Schoen. You'll see this one in the replay here. Kevy in this pit just CC'd up and lost so much of his health bar, and the fact that Fido buffers out this twisted advance, and he does such a good job to just find Bio. Bio's just running away the whole time. All Ground Zero members are just hitting someone, but Team Bliss is just running away, trying to kite this one out because they don't want to get found by this powerful Croc in the top lane right now.
And he certainly does not want that. It's pure frustration though. Just so well spaced by Fido. Hats off to him indeed, as he will return back to lane now. 2-0 into Harry's Corky. He's going to be the one to pick up the coal this time and say this laning phase is going to be an absolute breeze now. How do you answer back into this one? There's 8 minutes in. They will find themselves yet again in that comfortable snowballing position, up by a healthy 1,000, and not content with denying them of those grubs. They'll say, we'll take your blue buff, we'll take your entire jungle, and we'll force you to safety. Really nice flash there. Hard one to flash. Can certainly make the mistake there, but does get put to sleep out of harm's way.
And Schoenfire will steal away this buff, so job successful, mission accomplished, right? Skinny, that's all he really cares about, is just creating this lead in the jungle, using the priority that he does have in that mid lane right now, thanks to Fido having those 2 kills. And the fact that Corky really only has these laning items, right? He doesn't have, this skirmishing power that Tristana has right now. Does thankfully have tier 2 boots, so you can move around the map fast, but, Kevy, no access to the ult right now, no flash as well. It's quite hard for him to take over the game. But Tien... Oh no. Oh no.
Look at Tien's reaction as well. Even he's confused. What is happening? I think that's what a lot. I think that's what a lot of us... Oh my god, say it ain't so. An arrow from the base. Oh, poor Harry. Kurak walks in,
he's so
tags him up, hits the stun, and Fido says, yep, you've got the ninja tabbies, but everybody's crumbling. And I think everybody, including the fans of Bliss, are just simply stunned by this series.
That was just unbelievable, that whole passage play. I'm not sure what Vi was doing walking on the turret there when, Tien did have the dominance. He is going to get found with that stun before the counter-strike does go, so he can't dodge that one. But the fact that Lemus finds another cross-map arrow onto such an important, lane of the game right now and just shuts down Harry it's scary. It's very scary if you're a Bliss fan.
It really is so, and you're really hoping that the boys are able to muster up some kind of result in this one, whilst it'd be phenomenal to keep that win streak alive of 3 games in a row, clean sweep into your most formidable opponent. You'd like to see some kind of answer back into this one. Team Bliss, like you've said, haven't looked on their best form today. But let's see what they can do here, as Violet is under siege. Nice satchel charge to knock them back away. But 10 minutes, the first dragon finally gets looked at.
Yeah, and while Bliss is, losing this early game quite considerably, they do have the tools to sort out this game this time, right? The last 2 drafts, I think they were kind of all in, do or die sort of scenario when they do have those, Camille's on the side lane that can really take over the game. This time, it's the Renekton, not an absolute, lights out or like clock on their side lane this time. This time it's going to be a lot more scaly, and I think with Ziggs and Corky, and you can throw out those Maokai ults to deter some Sour Sieges, they can buy themselves some time, right? And when these items do come through, when there are, you know, those 3-4 items on this Ziggs, he can absolutely take over these team fights.
And he certainly can. We saw it already did beforehand when you had the Ziggs Camille combo, land him in place and lights out in a pretty much instant. It's pretty satisfying as a viewer, I'm sure, but maybe not so much if you're on the receiving end of that one. Really nice satchel charge. Can he find the kill is the question, as it's only to be one tower shot that tags up Lemus. But promising signs here for Violet, holding the wave just underneath his own.
To get the wave though, Skimmy. So job done, even though it was chunked out. No, there's not like that Mega Inferno Bomb is not going to be doing enough damage to take him out yet. We do not see Violet going for that tier Ziggs build that we see a lot of you know, these Ziggs players go for, because they want the extra mana to be able to spam out spells and clear the waves as much as possible. Just wants to get towards that, you know, power spike of the Hex Tech as soon as possible, and has that one in his pocket, and he's TPing back to bot lane.
He certainly is. No ability then for Bliss to contest this next set of grubs, so it's all going to be picked up by Schönfire. Nice and easily, doing a bit of a world tour from bot to top, getting every objective that the map has to offer at this stage. And a chance for Tien to showcase just how strong the Crocodile can be in the early game, right? Fully itemed with the Eclipse up and active, just looks at Biopemp and says, yeah, we're fighting.
Yeah, and this after that trade, Schönfire now has the option to just walk top lane and just deny Bio anything on the top side altogether. Bio is pretty much forced to recall, TP back to lane, which with no gold in his pocket, right? He's not going to get much of a buy right now, but another arrow lands.
Unbelievable. How does he keep doing it? Honestly, Australian sniper at this point, Lemus. He does not miss, be it from base or be it from bot lane. Biopemper finds himself yet again under threat and just lose that stun of the Renekton, but he's going to bleed a tower for this one, and as the Watcher, Schönfire proxies the wave.
And this was the counter pick for Bliss, right? You know, they got him the matchup he wanted, and this has just swung, you know, such, you know, one way, all due to Tien and the fact he found that solo kill on the turret. I think to that point, this was pretty comfy for Bio, but a lot of action is still happening on the map, in the bot and the top. Bio being forced off everywhere, Skimmy.
Objector, or rather the Observers, have their work cut out for them right now, trying to figure out where do we look to try and put our attention to, because the Dominus got popped topside because they are all in. Not only do they want one tower, they want two. Team Bliss have to trade. So Kevy's here. Kurak face checks to Maokai. He hits the Bramble Smash and maybe lets out a little bit of frustration at the same time. TP in from Hayri. They look at Lemus and he trades at least one. In a 1v4, he takes one with him. Violet gets absolutely obliterated by Fido, stacking up the explosive shot in little to no time. And with the resets of those rocket jumps, he looks to lock down Kevy as well, but gets too slowed and is forced to answer the wave instead.
Ooh, that was a favorable trade for Ground Zero on the bot side, Skimmy, and the fact that Schön and Tien on the top side got both those turrets. Schön steals away some camps as well, really seeing a 33 CS lead in the jungle, which is a huge deal for those camps. And, you know, Correct did fall down this time. You know, that is the winning grace. They did get him, but, you know, Lima's doing such a good job to flash the damage out of, you know, predictable damage out of Corki and Ziggs, and they took so much longer to kill him than they needed. And Fido just comes down and cleans up another easy kill onto the Violet, and also finds that flash.
But he certainly does. Lots of pressure, lots of significant moments in this one. You've got an incredibly hyper-scaling carry in a Tristana, already 4-0, and we're not even at 14 minutes. Here comes the arrow! Oh my god, how did that miss? You'll never quite know. But what does connect, rather, is the two-man looting Lullaby put to sleep, and maybe put to bed, as they get sent home all the way back to that fountain, forced to reconsider for a good 30 seconds.
Heavy flashing in, Skimmy, so it's not over. They do find the kill on the exit, but Fido going in.
Certainly is going in. He's 5-0 right now, wants to make that 6-0, really wants to showcase that he is the best mid laner, that he can take down Harry, and that crown should be firmly put on his head instead. 6-0-1. This Tristana is already at the late game.
This is just the complete opposite of what I expected Skimmy coming into this series. I really thought we were going to see Harry dominating in the mid lane. You know, we all know about that Yone matchup and how successful he was into those 80 carries, but this entire series, all 3 games, has been the story of Fido. He's just absolutely stepped up from his previous performance, and he's completely taking over this game, using the resources he's gathered from the rest of his team, and impacting the entire map. You know, finds himself on the side lane with that Kraken. The arrow does go wide, but he's outputting so much damage with his team, and Violet just cannot find these kills.
Pure frustration, yeah, for Bliss right now, because Grand Zero always in the right place at the right time, able to target the right members, grouped up and always forcing Bliss to scatter away. Bit of desperation, as you saw Kevin going for the flash pounce. Works out, but it's always that trade, and that's something I think that Grand Zero have done phenomenally this entire series. Even from losing positions, they always know how to trade.
Yeah, they absolutely always know how to trade. Grand Zero always on the front foot. You know, wherever they go, they have a teleport, they have members to fight, and once again, more action, Skimmy.
More action, order damage dropped into Lemus's head, but he only gets tickled, really. That's a depth charge, that's a Mega Inferno bomb. But he doesn't really care. Chugs the potion, and he's A-okay. Back to the mid lane. and back to winning ways because they're up by close to 7,000.
Yeah, and that is a huge goal lead, especially for the 15-minute mark in the game for me. But I'm not going to talk. I'm going to let you do what you do best.
Oh, that's so sad for Kurak. He flashes away. He thinks he's safe. He's getting ticked out by the Ignite. He still might be. Oh, the rocket. Harry locked him down and says, we're going to make sure that you can't have any fun this game. Another arrow that just parts the sea like Moses. And the Herald that says, well, who wants to party with me on this occasion? And quite honestly, for Fido, just keep split pushing. Who takes you down?
And the whole time, this is the story of Ground Zero. Even though they are going to probably find Fido here, Skimmy, they just always pushing these side lanes. They're always aggressing. No matter when Bliss do find an advantage, they do find a number advantage on that Riptail fight. The fact that both Tien and Fido on those side lanes, making sure that, hey, if you guys group up, you're going to lose experience on waves and you might lose towers, especially when they do have 4 grubs to their name and the Riptail going to their pocket in a second.
And that usually was the biggest bait, right, where you'd see teams overcommit 3, 4, maybe even 5 members towards that dragon. The enemy team says, well, that's great for us. We got the grubs in the early game. We'll just push towers. 2 lanes, easy as that. And now even more gold for us to utilize with. Not to be the case here. It really is Bliss saying, you know what, we're losing answers, losing ways to respond to this one, and even dropping our full combo, it's not to be enough. And here's a bit of a rare sight. Renekton at the top of the table, hoping to stay that way forever.
Yeah, Wak is still OP, Skimmy. Never doubt a Renekton on the top side, especially from a player who is so comfortable in these, fighter versus fighter matchups. But, looking at the gold graph right now, this is the story of what we've always seen with Bliss. Harry is the saving grace of this team right now. He is online. He is able to match up with Fighter, who we thought was extremely strong, and the teleports coming in mean this is going to be a fight for this dragon.
It's an objective down here already at this stage. They need so much gold. The stun is landed. That's going to be... Violet in trouble, locked in place for an eternity. Satchel charge to try and run away. A flash that's not close enough to the wall to disengage away from, and a dragon they wish they could have found. That Ground Zero say, you know what, we're greedy. We want it all.
That's a tragedy, Skimmy. We saw Harry Valkyrie out of way to dodge the arrow, but all of a sudden Violet is now in front of the line of that one. Finds himself stunned and gonna go down. So if Six does get engaged on, he just cannot, output what he needs to. He's not a Brand. He's not a Cardis. He needs to be alive to cast his spells.
He needs the uptime, he needs the time to try and cycle through his cooldowns, as you rightfully say. Nature's Grasp to try and act as a deterrent, but it didn't really do much. I mean, Ground Zero just stood still and said, all right, well, we're just locked in place. I guess we're taking this turret. And that's what they will find. Shelly's been summoned. Is a passenger going to be found? No, he wants to hop in. And Shelly will go on a one-man mission, dropping that tier 2 to 50%.
And another camp up and another contest coming out of Schoenfight. Does have the smite here, so going to be a secure for himself. There is no upgraded smite coming out of Kev yet because he just has not killed enough camps, Skimmy. So that extra 300 damage on the smite will always mean Schoenfight will get these camps and will get these objectives.
Well, let's take a second to breathe here and really consider the current state of everything, because I think we've maybe got a moment now in which we can really realize what is going on. 7k gold lead, that's retained. Ground Zero obviously in such a formidable situation, but for Bliss, if you're in their shoes right now, what would be, plan A?
Okay, so I think when it comes to this kind of gold lead, there is no such thing as scaling, right? You can't just AFK and, give objectives and wait for, the game to get in the best state, because there's too much map control in the enemy team, and you need to be able to, find some engages, find some numbers advantage, and outplay. But Fighter's sitting over this wall, Skimmy. If they go too far forward, that's a 2-item Tristana.
It is a 2-item Tristana that would dare to step up to you and say, look, I dare you to try and engage because I can just bait you away and, take be it the Nautilus or the Maokai in a bit of a magical journey in which you're not having too much fun. That's it, and if they decide to continue the siege, because almost, it's like Ground Zero is setting up as if they already have the Baron buff.
Yeah, pretty much. They do not need they do not need a Baron or Dragon to win this game, right? They can just run to these towers and start sieging. They just see Violet in the mid lane. They set up their waves, right? They're matching their waves from the side to the mid to make sure, okay, wherever Violet isn't, we're going to go siege that turret. And especially Harry, another champion who doesn't really want to be grouping now. He wants to be out farming and finding these 2 items, maybe 3-item spikes as soon as possible. If he is grouping, he's not getting that golden experience he needs to carry this game.
He certainly isn't, and you keep seeing the items pop up in favor of Ground Zero, getting stronger and stronger by the minute. 2 items become 3. Item advantages become that much more noticeable, and the gold difference starting to truly come into its own. And you are now hoping for a little bit of salvation. The fact that a Baron gets about, you go for that 50-50 flip, but you just don't see a world in which Ground Zero would entertain. They just have so much discipline.
Yeah, they definitely do have a lot of discipline, but okay, if you're a Bliss fan right now, and if you really want them to win, Skimmy, you are feeling okay, because this gold lead, a lot of it is sitting on the Renekton and the Lilia, and, one champ, high execution, the other one, falls off very hard, so they still have the potential to blow these champs up, especially when the DPS items come out, but the engage, Skimmy.
Well, let's see what they can find on this occasion as out goes that Mega Inferno Bomb to try and shoot them right back. Kurek flashing to safety, Nature's Grasp out of range, the wrong angle. And a few members getting put to sleep. There is the TP to say 2 members put to sleep. Let's put you in a shallow grave as well. And as the Riptide tries to slow them down, Violet in the 1v1, Harry jumps across and Schönfire removes him from the equation. And this is Ground Zero to say, you know what, non-committal or committal, it doesn't really matter. It's all the same for us. All we do is win.
And, you know, this is just really unfortunate for Bliss. They're down too much gold. There was such a nice fight set up for them. The Mega Inferno Bomb landed on, you know, the carries that they really needed to chunk them out. But Violet's just not strong enough right now. You're used to seeing Ziggs with, you know, those 2 items working on the 3 items right now. But she doesn't even have his second item completed because he's just down in gold. He does not have the resources to get this one. This is going to be a Baron going to the pocket of Ground Zero, and that's an 11,000 gold lead. Resetting, buying all the items right now. And this might be that game-ending push, Skimmy.
It certainly could be that game-ending push, and from the onset, you think this is a not bad invitation for Bliss to try and fight, right? Get a little bit of control, maybe win a fight, and then maybe get that Baron.
Yeah, and we would think that, oh, what a good setup for Bliss. You know, they were ready to counteract the engage coming out of Ground Zero, but the Lilting Lullaby lands on the Harry, and he is that carry. And the moment he is locked down without this flash, without this Valkyrie, Schönfire finds that easy cleanup, and the fact that the TP comes out, there is no response from Bai. He's just sitting on that bot lane farming up, recognizes this fight is lost, I'm not participating in it.
And Tien just gets a sprint at you at Mach 10 speed, right, with the home guards active. Nice twisted advance to dodge out on that Enchado Crystal arrow. Otherwise, Kevin could have been a sitting duck, but is able to deter that for the meantime and make sure that there are no casualties for the meantime as the rest of the members of Bliss look to try and push out these waves and hope that it's not a collapse in all 3 lanes at once.
Yeah, and we're seeing, you know, the absolute aggression to this. There are no flashes on these members, Skimmy. They're going to get caught out.
No, the blast guns really griefed Kevy there. Unfortunately, stuck between a rock and a hard place. He had no get out jail free card, and the rest of his teammates, I'm sure, thinking, oh, my bad, boys. Not what we wanted. He's down for 30 seconds. And it does really look like that at this stage, that 2 lanes will be attacked, a freebie dragon to be picked up by Fido, but even then, it's almost like the team saying, forget that, we're going to win now.
Yeah, they do feel really confident to end this one here. It's quite easy for them to siege. You know, maybe they can't break the Nexus here with killing these members, but if the sleep does land on the Violet like this, they do have potential kill angle.
Yeah, waiting for the very last moment is Schönfire, Satchel Charge on his head, disengage away, and hopefully buy enough space that she is successful in doing. But just waiting for those waves to crash, and this is the biggest challenge now, right, for Bliss. Can you hold on? You've got the wave clear, you've got the Corki, you've got the Ziggs, you've got to hold on for dear life. Alazoric jumps, and then Nature's Grasp to follow it up. Mega Inferno Bomb pads 3 members low. And even with the Horizon Focus, it's still not enough to one-shot anybody. Ground Zero burnt a lot of those ultimates. The Enchantment Crystal Arrow is up and available, but can Lemus find a target to get it with? No! Right down the middle again. Lemus. But even without the arrow, he just literally walks at you, right-clicks, and takes you down.
Violet disengaging there, still trying to place one out, but the bomb will find him on the end, so Fido trades for that 1v1, flashing in, but there's still kills going over to Bliss, so this is the best of a worst case scenario, Skimmy. They are finding some gold. Harry is still really strong, and the fact we saw Violet land that Mega Inferno Bomb on so many members, the damage it's doing is starting to ramp up now.
It is starting to get there, right, with the gun as well as the Horizon Focus. It's going to feel a little bit better. We're going to get a chance to see it once again.
This was pretty much the best case scenario for them, Skimmy. You know, putting that front to back straight away, the 6 damage landing onto 3 members there, and the fact that, you know, this damage is sticky. You know, there is no sustained arms yet. We do have the Vamp Scepter in the inventory of Fido, but Lemus is just trying to fight and do as much damage as he can, but Violet is playing this one extremely well. You know, the game is on the line. Everything is on the line right now for them, and they are, you know, playing on the edge of their seats to try and create any leads, but this is just coming down to the fact that Ground Zero can kind of wallet slap them.
They really can, and I mean, you can see that from Fido just jumping across the wall, drops the explosive bombs, there's a bit of martyrdom, right? Like, you're dying, I'm dying. It's worth it in the end, even if you do get that bounty claimed in the end. My God, what a series, really. It's teeing up to be a 3-0 in favor of the league champions for Ground Zero. It's 24 minutes in, 3 dragons. Forget about that, though, because it's all about this gold lead. 12k nearly. It's just monumental given how close they've been. Yeah,
it has been such a one-sided series, honestly. I have to give it to Ground Zero. They're just outperforming the expectations we had of them. You know, we really haven't seen them be tested, and so far, that story is continuing. They're just doing what they do best. They're just dominating all stages of the game, even when they are caught off guard from lane swaps. They're just doing so good, and this choke is probably the best area for Bliss to look for a fight, but this engage just won't stick. There's no hook to really follow this one up now.
Yeah, as soon as the hook misses, oh, look at that for an arrow. Beautifully done by Lemus there, but he cops everything and still survives. He just shrugs it off, Tally. It's unbearable if you're a Bliss fan thinking, how do we do it? How do we get back into this game? Because we just keep getting blocked and stopped, and and take it out in the end.
Yeah, and this is just going to be, you know, ground zero toying with their opponents, pretty much waiting until that Baron spawns before they can really break the space open. It's so hard to siege the Corki and the Ziggs, who have such good wave clear. Even though this gold lead is massive, they get to farm that inhibitor for a bit, you know, shorten that one up a tiny bit, is, you know, still a 13,000 gold lead, which is monumental, and we haven't really ever seen teams come back from that one. You know, I could probably count on my hand the number of times I've ever seen a competitive game come back from a gold lead this large, Jimmy. So they really have to break records today and hope for miracles.
Well, I think it's become even harder now because you talk about the wallet slap effect beforehand. Now it's a double bloodthirster on the Corki, rather the Tristana and the Ashe. So that Ziggs damage, which has already been put behind in terms of automation, is going to, you know, not stick even more now, right? They can literally take a trade, walk it off, hit a wave, and then do it all over again, really.
And this is why Limus is such a smart player. You know, a lot of the time you can go for the DPS build, right? The Kraken IE, but he recognized the enemy comp is poke. It's a lot of it is poke, so he's just going to go double lifesteal items, and every single time Violet lands a bomb on him, all he needs to do is auto once or twice, and he's regained that poke onto himself, especially without there being heal cut in the enemy team. So all of a sudden, Limus and Fido are quite tanky champions in these team fights.
They certainly are going to be very much happy to have that lifesteal shield as well to boot, to keep them topped up, to shrug off a lot of that initially and not be so reliant on those targets to attack. But they've been a bit of a bully. They're all in on this top lane right now, completely zoning Bliss back inside their walls and saying, we already claimed the bot lane inhibitor. We're playing a bit of a dance here where we wait for those supers to passively push in and distract you topside instead.
And we haven't seen Limus throw off his arrow. He's been throwing this one off, you know, pretty much off cooldown the entire game, but he's holding this one. They recognize the Baron is coming up soon, and they want it to count for a kill. They want Bliss to overextend out of their base and finally find that trap, and this might be it.
There is that trap, and there is that arrow. That is the kill confirmation on towards Kevin. He drops the ultimate before he perishes, but he's down for 40 whole seconds now, Tally. They'll look to lock down somebody else. Tien starts off the charge, tags it up to make sure that the Braum passive is effective. And then the lilting Lullaby is there, but it doesn't even have to be popped. The burn passive alone is enough to get kill number 2.
They even need Baron to end this one, Skimmy. They're just going to group up and siege inhibitor. They know that any time they could go back and get this Baron, but sieging is the hard thing that this comp can, you know, really deny coming out of Bliss. So they are going to group up and just, you know, break down this inhibitor and, you know, work on these you know, next towers. So if they break all 3 inhibitors here, this is so hard to come back from, Skimmy.
So hard to come back from. It really is that checkmate position where you're thinking the inevitable is about to occur, and I'm not sure already how many answers we have left. We're running out very quickly, and whilst Bliss are getting humbled in this series, I'm sure Antic are also eagerly watching, thinking, well, how on earth do we contest with Ground Zero if we manage to get through our series tomorrow as well, right? I mean, this is a case of true obliteration.
Oh no.
And nobody wanting to step up. Harry, please don't face check like that. He dies. And Limus gets his 6th of the game. Alador not long for the world. He'll go on through. Bopped in the head is Schonify, taking down Violet. And this is that final nail in the coffin. 28 minutes. It's a perfect ace. And it's a perfect season for Ground Zero as they stay undefeated.
And what a series from Ground Zero. Our first team to qualify for PCS, so congratulations to them. But once again, they just not contested, Skimmy. All 3 games, utter destruction. Schonify playing out of his mind, but I have to give it to Fido. This player stepped up today, and he really carried his team over the line tonight.
That he certainly did. It was clean, it was concise, it was very effective. That's done some mental damage, I'd have to say, right? Because both these teams have been coming into this one believing that they had the upper hand. All that prep, all that practice. Kurak even falling to sleep there, my God. It was just that easy for them. And I tell you what, I mean, why not have a little bit of ego, a little bit of cockiness about it? You've just swept them 3-0, first and second, doing it out. And you've completed this best of 5 in just over 2 hours.